so I thought I would make this short video because we talked in class the other day about the 12 cranial nerves and how we have this acoustic encoding or this acoustic rhyming that went with it. Oh, 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 to touch and feel very green vegetables. So I wanted to kind of get out here and make the video real fast, and then I'm going to post that acoustic rhyming for you with the 12 cranial nerves so that it's an easy reference for you guys whenever you're out in the field working, or if you have an anatomy class that you're looking at it, or whatever the case is. So using rhymes is super beneficial for your long-term memory because several actual reasons for it. It helps to build that cognitive processes in our brains that we have. So it's called acoustic encoding, and it's rhymes basically that emphasize like the sound or structures of words. You know, when we look at rhyming words, our brains, they pay closer attention to the sounds and they pay to the processes known as the acoustic encoding. And so the auditory processes, it helps us to be able to commit things like information that we want to know more effectively to our long-term memory. It also helps to enhance like processing fluency. Rhyming patterns create this sense of like familiarity and predictability. So it makes information a little bit easier for our brains to be able to process, and that's called processing fluency. So when you hear me say processing fluency, that's what I'm talking about. I'm making it an easy way for your brain to process the information and to remember it. And then another thing that we look at when we're looking at like little sayings or when we're looking at little acoustic encodings, we look at the fact that we have this mnemonic device that's in our head, and it literally helps that memory aid all of us to be able to encode and retrieve the information that we need. So rhyming sounds create like these connections between words, and they make them more memorable than just words that are like non-rhyming. So that's whenever you have repetition and pattern. So I say all the time, writing things down puts it into our long-term memory, being able to say something in a fun way, playing games, doing flashcards. These are the things that put stuff into our long-term memory faster and longer so that we can continue to build off of it. But ultimately, what happens is, for us to learn more effectively, we have to put it into our so it has to be repetition for our long-term memory to get into it. And so it just makes it easier to retain. So because of that reason, I am going to place that to touch and feel very green vegetables. I'm going to put that into this announcement and just let you know that's the reason why we do it. You know, just when you play games, when you have rhymes, when you write things out a number of times, like for me personally, I have to write something at least 6 times for me to be able to get it. And I don't know why 6 is my magic number, but once I write it out repetitiously for 6 times, on that 6th time, man, I've got it in that long-term memory and able to go back and recall it whenever I start refreshing or revisiting that information again. And so it just helps us be able to put it into our long-term memory faster. It helps us be able to recall it better over time, you know, and that's why when you're in school, if you remember like an I don't know if they still do. I know that as a teacher, I don't use it in my 7th grade classroom when I was teaching 7th grade, but I remember as a child, we had like phonics and we had rhyming games, and like when I was learning that term for the very first time, I had these videos. It would say gastro is like garbage truck. Gastro means stomach. So it just was one way to kind of bring the information together in a little bit more sequential area. But anyway, I want to link it down here for you so you guys have it and just let you know that's the reason why we do it. So I highly encourage you that as you continue to move through your programs of study, really learn to do flashcards, highlight things, color puts it in a long-term memory faster, writing it down, repetition, find what your number works, rhyme it, find these little encoding things that you want to do, that you can make things, you know, these acoustic encoding that you can make things kind of get into your long-term longer. Find out what time of day works best for you when you're studying. Like for me, I found out that between the hours of 10:30 p.m. and 1 a.m., that's when I was the most awake, which worked out perfect because my house was quiet, my kids were in bed, you know, I didn't have to worry about all the stuff. So find out what time of day works best for you when you study, and then make a plan, and then work your plan. Put it in your phone, make sure that you have like announcements that happen, make sure that you're able to like put yourself on a timer even whenever you're working. So I know in the discussion board this week we talked about, hey, how you learn from Mod 1 What kind of things can you incorporate? And a lot of you had some really great ideas about, hey, I think if I incorporate this or I incorporate that, I might have a better way of doing it. That's great. It's wonderful to identify those things about you, and that's why we ask it, so that you know. I would just say, find what time works for you when you're the most awake, when you have the most quiet time in your home to do your work and to study. Look at all your assignments, put them on your calendar on your phone, set ring announcements for it so that you get that zzz or that buzz or that ding or whatever it is that you do. You know, put your low-hanging fruit in there first. Your discussion board is your low-hanging fruit. That means that you should do them first across the board for every class. Get those done and out of the way. At least start the process on Sunday night when all your other work is done. Start the process on Sunday night and then run through the week. By Wednesday, you should have, you know, at least one comment to another friend, and then by Saturday, the next, you know, by the end of that week, you should make your final comment. You know, plan it out. Same thing with your work. Plan when it's given to you, plan when it's due, and then plan a night during the week that you're able to work on it. And then take that one day that you can work on it, or those 2 days that you can work on it, and then break that up into even smaller chunks of your time. So from 8 o'clock in the morning until 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have 2 breaks after every 2 hours. I'm going to have a 15-minute break, because you have to have a break. You know, make a plan to put your phone away. Make a plan to put easy listening music, whatever it is that works best for you. Get your plan together. And then do flashcards, use color, write things out, set your timers. You know, get your low-hanging fruit out of the way first. All these things. Once you learn the skill of studying and setting up your time, it gets easier and easier and easier. And before you know it, you're like, man, school is so easy for me. I got it. All right, so I'm going to link that for you. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.